Alright, so this is my newly acquired DRZ 400E. Main reason why I bought this is I wanted a bit of a winter hack. I got a little bit bored over last winter when my road bike gets stored away. Didn't have anything to ride. So I thought I'd get this second bike, use it through the winter, not have to worry about it, and do a little bit of green laning with it as well. So it's the E model. So it's the version that's geared a little bit more towards off-road. I think the main differences are has a little bit more power, has the FCR flat side carb. What else was there? There's a plastic tank and electric start only, no kickstart. I think they're the main differences. But yeah, with the flat side carby coupled with the FMF titanium exhaust that's on there, does seem to go really well. Needed a little bit of work for the upcoming MOT. The rear brake light switch was missing the spring, so I had no brake lights, so I just bought a aftermarket brake light switch for it on the rear. Couldn't find the DRZ 400E one that easily. I just had a quick flick through eBay. Bit of a rush job. I probably could have found it if I looked a little bit more, but I just put a generic brake light switch on there. The front brake lever was cracked, so again rushing, I bought the S and not realizing that I needed the E model. So don't buy the S, make sure you get the E front brake lever if it comes to it. And also the chain guard, I couldn't find the chain guard for it either. Again, probably just rushing. Could have tried a bit harder, but everyone was ordering stuff off of AliExpress and going on about it, so ordered one off of AliExpress, and obviously that didn't fit, so I had to modify that. So don't buy one of those. So that's everything that I think it needs for the MOT. Also ordered a sticker kit as well off of AliExpress. A few people on the forums and Facebook page has been using them, and they said they're actually pretty good quality for 20 quid. So yeah, bought one of those kits, and well, I bought two of them. Click buy twice for some reason. So yeah, waiting on the sticker kit to come and I'll fit that. But the main issues were it wasn't running great. Every now and then it wanted to cut out, and it had quite a high idle. So when the engine was warm, and especially when I was coming off the throttle to slow down, the idle would stay up there. It didn't want to settle back down again. When I think what that could be, I think maybe air leak, trapped throttle cables, stick and slide on the carb, maybe throttle cables out of adjustment, running hot, lean. So the first thing we done was made sure there was a bit of slack in the throttle cables. You can't see it very well, but you have to take the tank off to get to it. But just here where my finger is in there, that's where you can adjust the two throttle cables. So I just made sure there's a little bit of slack in those. So one of them wasn't too tight, holding the carb slide open a little bit and not allowing that to close fully. Put it back together, made sure all of the throttle cables moved nice and free, and none of them were sticking. That didn't do anything. So next thing we looked at was the carb. We thought we'd check to see if there's any block jets or anything like that. So took the carb off. They come off really easily, but getting it back on is a different matter. They never want to go back on easily. There's a lot of stuff to cram into a short space there. So anyway, took the carb off. To get to the jets on this carb, all you have to do is just gain access through the float bolt. So I took the carb off, left all of this, just took the undone the screws for the bottom of the float bolt, and that gave us access to all of the jets. We found one of the jets was blocked, so pulled out all of the jets, made sure that was nice and clean, put it all back together again, and that fixed the cutting out issue where it wanted to cut out on me, but it still had the high idle. After that, we decided to adjust the mixture screw, just in case someone been playing around with that, you know, if it had a blocked jet. They thought rather than, you know, strip the carb, they'd play around with the adjustments sort of thing to see if that would help. So yeah, just reset that idle on it, and richened up the air screw, which I don't know why on this design the air screw is on the bottom of the carb. Obviously there's no access to get a screwdriver in there, so we had to take the carb off. No, we didn't have to take the carb off on that, sorry. To adjust the air screw, all we needed to do was just undo where the carb mounts up onto the head and the air box. So just loosened these two screws up, and that meant we was able to twist the carb, and then you could gain access to the bottom of the float bowl then, because it's twisted around this way. So we just richened up the bottom of the float bowl on the mixture screw about half a turn, and that made it a lot better. So yeah, it was a lot better at that point. Still on a longer ride, it still wanted to idle quite high. So on that side of it, I remember the guy when I bought it, he said he replaced one of the coolant hoses, which was this one here. He said that had a little scuff in it. Looked worse than it was. Wasn't losing any coolant, just didn't look nice, so he put a new hose on it. So I figured maybe when he was doing the replacement on the hose, maybe he didn't go out of his way to bleed the system properly. Maybe there might have been some air bubbles in the system causing it to run a little bit hot, not cooling it properly. So I drained the coolant. That was pretty straightforward. Just went to the lowest part of the coolant system, which is this bolt here. Took this bolt here out, drained all the coolant, took off the radiator cap, and also there's a bleed screw, which is here. So I took that out, the bleed screw, filled it up with new coolant, and everyone calls it the burping method. So with fresh coolant in it, all topped up, I let the bike run for about 5 minutes, and in that time you can see air bubbles escaping via the right radiator neck. With the cap off, you can see air bubbles coming out of there, and then a little bit as well from where the bleed is. See a little bit of coolant was coming out of there. So I ran it for about 5 minutes, made sure there was no more air bubbles, put the bleed screw back in, made sure it's topped up with coolant, put the cap back on, and took it out, and that seemed to fix it. Went out for quite a long ride, and so far so good. No cutting out, no high idle. So yeah, maybe it might have been a few things, you know. Obviously that blocked jet wouldn't have helped the way it ran, and also if it had a bit of an air blockage in the system, that wouldn't have helped the way it ran either. So yeah, I just thought there was a few things that we played with. Seems to have fixed the problem so far. Hopefully it stays that way. Yeah, just thought I'd do a little video just in case anyone else has a problem, which I've seen a few other people have the same problem. These are just a few of the things that we messed around with, which seems to have fixed it. I'm no expert, I've only just got the bike, but yeah, had a little bit of fiddling around, and yeah, after doing that it seems to have come good.